We have finally made it towards the end of Season 1 and back where it all began, in the Alpine, the very first car that we chose here on Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. Welcome back to the channel once for everybody. Once and for all guys, we're going to round out everything here on Season 1. I kind of wanted to complete off the last of the races, all of the last of the challenges before of course we do get the launch of Season 2 just 2 days from now. Looking forward to that one, I'm sure you guys all are as well. But before we get there, we've got to take care of the last races that we have not completed. First of all, we're going to jump over to the Concrete Jungle, a daily driver, max RP of 750, and we are going to go in the Alpine. We're not going to go with the chosen favourite, which is of course the Audi TTRS. We're going to go back to where it all began today and jump into the Alpine here for one last race. Launching it off the line, we have obviously made some improvements to this from when we started on it. We've put everything onto this what we can performance upgrade wise. It's still as leery as you like into those turns. We did of course get clattered there by an AI car, but this one is as lively as it ever has been on the rear end of the Alpine. A little bit of a mix up there as we didn't really know where to turn in for that right hander cutting through the railings in the middle of the road, but we push forward a 2-lap race so we can enjoy the Alpine here. Taking a bit of air, unsettling the car there, we do manage to get under control. We do take out our customary lamppost very early in today's video. We do have an AI car right on the back end of us here. We're not pulling away from the AI, so it's a bit more of a challenge. It's more engaging, I would say, that we do jump into the less meta cars for the game. The Alpine here, of course, far from the meta. It's far from the Audi TTRS. The back end stepping out on us with it being rear wheel drive as we try to get the power down. There is a slight bit of water on the road surface. It's not affecting us all too much. This thing is just unbelievably leery at the back end. It's very tail happy. It's a lot of power going through the back wheels of this Alpine, but we have stretched out about a 4.5 second lead as we do start getting this lap together. As we have a massive snap of oversteer there, the back end really stepping out as we can see there is actually a fair bit of water now sitting on the road surface, but we'll push forward here and we will get the first lap close to completion here. We're around about 6.7 seconds ahead of the rest of the pack. Tight left-hander here, we want to try and whip the back end round. At times we want the back end to step out and it just doesn't, and times we don't want it to. It does. The fun of having a powerful rear-wheel drive vehicle. This does suffer slightly with some understeer. I've tried to balance out the car, but it's a lot of fun. The back end steps out, the front end doesn't turn where we want it to, but we are 5.1 seconds ahead of the rest of the pack as we do start off lap number 2, just missing out those railings on the right hander. Into the left hander here, the back end we can see will step out on us. We will use it to our advantage to get round that corner just a little bit quicker. Once again getting a bit crossed up, trying to navigate into that right hander. Need to make a better job of that one going forward, but we are still well ahead of the rest of the pack. We will push on with the rest of lap number 2. We will expect to take some air that time. We do manage it better this time around on lap number 2, and of course we do target that lamppost once again. This time we do manage to avoid it. As we come down into the right hander here, we can see just how much water is now sitting on that road surface. It's going to be fairly difficult to keep the back end of the Alpine under control, but we're managing it so far. Left-hander here, we try to clip that apex, but the understeer taking the car away from the apex of the left-hander just there. 90 left, 90 right coming up, catch the correct braking zone. We just take a little bit of curb there as we push forward into the right-hander. We hopefully try and get the power down here nice and cleanly, but trying to keep the back end of this one under control is a little bit of a task with all of that standing water on the road surface. Braking down into this one, we get close to the apex there. It's not all too bad. As we try to get the power down, we can see the back end of this Alpine swinging left, right, every which way imaginable. As we even try to get the power down here, it looks like an absolute wild beast to try and tame. It's a lot of power through those rear wheels. It's fantastic fun. Rounding round the 90 right into 90 left into 90 left. It'd be good to have a big power slide round here. We try to do it, we do hit a little bit of shrubbery, the greenery in the middle of the road, and it whips the back end of the Alpine round, losing all of our momentum. But we've got a 90 left into 90 right to round out this little track here. It's actually been quite fun playing about with the Alpine. It's been quite a while since we jumped into the Alpine here on the channel, so it was good to box off a daily driver race in the Alpine once again. But with that being said, we've got a host of races. We're going to make it a jam-packed episode to round out Season 1 today for you all. And I have purposely kept quite a few of these races quite close together here, so we can cover off quite a few races today. Let's round it out in fashion to finish off Season 1. We're going to push forward next to a Grand Tourer race. We'll just navigate quickly round to this one. We can see that we are going downtown with this one. A 100% asphalt D-Class or G-Class 600 to 700 RP race. Once again, we'll jump into the BMW M4. And once again, we were told coming into this race it was a dry race. And a little spoiler for you guys, it is not a dry race. We do have slick tyres fitted to the M4, which itself is unbelievably lively on the back end. We do manage to get it off the line fairly well, but we can see just how much standing water there is on this road surface. I'm very surprised that we've actually got some form of traction here with the M4. It's a domination race, so we know we just need to get to those checkpoints first. We don't have to cross the line in first, we just need to get as many of these checkpoints in first place as possible. Perhaps it's not going to be the cleanest of racing. This thing's going to be so tail happy. It's actually been very well behaved as it is. I'm starting to think we've perhaps got semi-slick tyres fitted here. It's far too well behaved for being an M4. We know how leery the back end of these are. We're already through 40% of this domination. We are in first place, 400 points currently, 90 right coming up here. We do cheat a little bit, guys. We cut across it, we take out the railings, we don't lose any momentum at all. Swinging the back end round that one, having a little bit of fun, playing with the rear wheel drive of the M4 here. Again, much like the race we just did with the Alpine, getting a bit crossed up with that little cross across the track. We tried to cut through the gas station here. We probably save a second or so, maybe not even worth doing that one. But we're getting crossed up across the track, not knowing when to cut across the railings there for that right-hander, caught out in the Alpine and caught out in the M4. Left-hander down into a right-hander here, 90% through. We're almost finished this domination race already. It's a very quick one here. In a dry race, this M4 would be absolutely electric, but against the AI in a wet race, they've posed little to no challenge whatsoever. So, with that being said, we'll push on for the next race for today, and we're going to keep this one varied. We're going to jump into a different car for every race for today's video to round out season 1. Kind of covered that one off a few times here. Round this left-hander as we do crash into an Abarth 500 there. We're going to go to the Seafarers Way, a sprint race, 100% asphalt in a supercar. And again, we're throwing it back to the first supercar we had on the channel here, and we're going to jump into the Audi R8 Decennium. This thing is absolutely bonkers. I love this car. It is literally just a Lamborghini. It's so fast, it handles so fantastically well, and as we can just see there, it launches off the line fantastically, leaving the rest of the pack well behind us. Fast left-hander here, we do lift into this one. I wasn't fully committed with it, as I'm suffering a little bit of screen lag. Once again, this hasn't been an issue for so long. Don't know why we're getting screen lag just there, guys. Apologies on that one. But we'll push through, hammer down the straight, heavy braking zone. We don't want to get ourselves crossed up here, as we know we've got to cut back on ourselves here with a hairpin left. Just managing to take a little bit of curb. I was hoping for that curb to chuck the back end of the car around a little bit more, but we've done it all right so far. Pushing uphill, foot flat to the floor here, we can really see just what this Audi R8 Decennium has for us. Already 10.7 seconds ahead of the rest of the pack. This car is absolutely wild, and we're already 57% through this one. Up to, well, we're down to 8 seconds, so the rest of the pack obviously starting to catch up with us on these straights. All is well there though. A bit of an intricate part of this one, fast flowing left-handers into right-handers. We are having to lift through certain points, the back end feeling like it's going to step out on us as we flow around this big sweeping left-hander, foot flat down here, and we do come into one of the most interesting parts of the map. Hammer down this one, and we take that very small little left-hander there. It's quite an intricate one, guys. Don't let the back end of your car step out on you on that one. We'll push through, get that one boxed off quickly. I didn't enjoy the amount of lag we had with that one, guys. I do apologise. I'm going to have to look into the lag that I'm starting to experience on the game. I've got a fantastic graphics card there, 4080. I shouldn't be experiencing any form of a lag. Let me know if you guys are starting to experience some lag with the game. It's not something I've had all too much of a problem with, but recently I've seen that one creeping up a little bit more. I'll take a look at that for the upcoming videos. We'll push on to the next one though, Tour de Force, another supercar race here. Once again, 100% asphalt race. And this time we're going to jump into one of the more recent cars we do have here, and it's the 2006 Ford GT. Very big on this car. I spoke about this when I made the video on the Ford GT and the ridiculous acceleration that this car has. It feels like it's got hybrid assist, just how quickly it pushes up and how high it pushes up in the rev range. We can see it there in second gear and here into third gear. Braking into this first tight right-hander, taking out some trees. More screen lag, guys. I must apologise. I have to look into this issue. I haven't had it for so long here. The graphics card for some reason seems to be struggling as of late, but we'll forget about that for now. We've got a 2-lap race ahead of us. us massive freeway sections here that we can really open up the Ford GT, and we can see just how insanely fast this car is, hitting 200 miles an hour as we do start to come off the freeway. 210, we tap on the brakes, the back end of the GT getting a little bit unsettled, but we've managed to keep it between the white lines into this sweeping left-hander. We don't want to overcommit with this, the back end stepping out, and we do take out yet another customary lamppost here on the channel. Into the big right-hander, we have to get the braking zone correct here, getting ourselves turned back on that right-hander. We do just overextend, hitting the curbs on the left-hand side, but it's not caused us too many problems. We can get the foot back down here into the big sweeping left-hander that then moves into the big sweeping right-hander, trying to keep the inside as much as we can here, keeping the GT on a fantastic racing line, back into the left-hander, and we want to be prepared for this little section here. Fast right-hander, it is quite a fast one, guys. We want to brake into the left-hander, hit our apex, and get that foot straight back down. An AI car has caught us up, Alex, right on the back end of our GT, I believe, in a rear-wheel drive Audi R8, but the power that we can lay down with the 2006 Ford GT is unmatched by the Audi R8. Big flowing left-hander there, suffering a little bit, guys. Heavy braking zone. We can just cut across this little gas station forecourt here as we do take out the checkpoint there to start off lap number 2. We get back onto the freeway section, the back end of the GT just stepping out. There's a little bit there, we need to get that under better control, but we can open up the GT now. We can get that foot flat to the floor, hit what, 210, maybe 250 miles an hour this time out. We know we can perhaps commit a little bit more as we come off the freeway section here. Maybe not even touch the brakes. Yeah, we do touch them ever so slightly, but we are holding quite a lot of speed coming back up into this section. Once again, don't want to outbrake ourselves into this flowing left-hander. We do go wide, unfortunately, though. It's not cost us all too much time, but that Audi R8 has indeed caught back up with us right on the tail. Heavy right-hander here, once again picking the right braking zone, pushing the R8 wide, trying to keep the racing line there to keep first place. Maybe going a little bit defensive there, but all is good. We want to maintain first place. Left-hander, flowing right-hander. That R8 is all over the back end of the Ford GT at this point. We need to keep this one clean to make sure we do get first place. Overcommitting into that left-hander, compromising this right-hander, but we do clip the apex, and we will target this left-hand apex where we'll now get the foot down, and we know that Audi R8 being rear-wheel drive isn't going to match the rear-wheel drive Ford GT that we have here. Fantastic levels of grip. We'll punch this one forward right through here, and we will take out first place. Round this last left-hander, not losing the back end. We do just take a little bit of railing, but that's all good. We have crossed out first place once again, crossed the lane in first place, getting the words a little bit twisted up there. And yeah, box off yet another win there in the Audi R8, and the Ford GT, sorry, an absolutely fantastic car, unmatched by the rear-wheel drive Audi R8. Now at this point, we've essentially completed all the races here in Test Drive Unlimited. All the races but one. And it's one I had left for a very specific reason. It's a car I wanted to drive for so long, but never had too many reasons to drive this one. Looking around the map, we can see that this is just all of the races that are displayed for us, and every single one has been done except for one ranked race, which nobody wants to race because it's a wet one. We'll cover that off later. But this one here, Power Trip, the 488 Pista versus Countach race. I own neither car. Max RP of 900, 100% asphalt clan race. Now I own neither the Ferrari 488 Pista or the new Lamborghini Countach. We'll jump over here, we'll take a look at these cars before we decide what we're going to jump into here. Of course, looking at the Countach LPI 804, it's 10.6 million credits. We can see in the top right corner above my camera there, I've only got 4.1, so it already forces our hands to start looking towards the 488 Pista. Coming down to the Ferrari dealership, we can see that the Pista is just $2.4 million. It's a no-brainer, of course. We're going to jump into the Pista, and what a fantastic looking car this one is. Ferrari red with those gold wheels looks absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, yo Sharky, we can't join your activity right now. Normally I would jump into anyone's activity that does invite me, but we're recording a video and it's a purposeful one. Our first drive out here in the 488 Pista. I wanted to drive this car for so long, and for some reason I just put it onto the back burner. I wanted to leave that race as long as I could, and for me it's probably going to be a good race. I hope it's going to be a good race here to round out season 1 on Test Drive Unlimited. Thoroughly enjoyed the large portion of this game. I know there's been a lot of hate for TDU, but I thoroughly enjoyed the large portion that we've had here in game. Some of the cars I thought have been absolutely fantastic, and the Pista was one of the ones I really wanted to drive. Now we're managing to get into it. We can see the acceleration's bonkers. It's got fantastic levels of grip. Even coming out of some of these corners, the way this actually puts the power down, very impressed with it, much like the Ford GT. So we'll jump over into that specific race there, the power trip race, and we'll see how the 488 Pista does indeed stack up against the Countach. So like we can see, it's quite a well balanced race. We've got 4 pistas, maybe more pistas than Countach actually. Yeah, it does appear so. I think we've got a little bit of an imbalance here, but I do fear the power of the Countach. Now of course the Countach, having the hybrid assist, is going to have a stark power advantage over the Pista. Hopefully we've got more grip than what the Countach has. Hopefully that's going to be the balance coming back in our favour. But instantly we can see Amisha diving down the inside of us there, so it does have fantastic accelerations. We just get caught up on that inside curb, the back end stepping out from us into the big left-hander here. We know we want to try and hold that inside line, stopping the AI getting past us, and of course avoiding the traffic as much as we can. We do take out the front end of an Alfa Mito at that point. The back end really stepping round on the 488 just there. We were tapped, but we also caught a little bit of curb. Getting around that left-hander alright. We do try to get the power down early, slight little power slide coming on, but we've done alright so far. As we're getting dive bomb currently from Amisha once again in the Countach. She's not racing cleanly, guys. She is diving up the inside, trading paint with our Pista. Not the tidiest, not the neatest of racing so far, but we are holding second place. Just another Countach all over the back of our 488. We're going to have to be very defensive in this one, it does feel, to make sure that we do get a good podium finish there. Diving just between 2 cars, that got a little bit sketchy to start out with. Amisha has crashed though. Things do come back to us. That's a bit of karma. Amisha crashing into some of the traffic cars there. That's what she gets for trying to dive bomb our Ferrari. Big left-hander, hairpin left here once again, not wanting to outbrake ourselves. We don't, we get the power down nice and early. A little bit of a gap there to the Countach behind us, which is good. We know that one's going to catch up with us on these power straight sections. Big flowing right-hander here rather. Trying to take that inside, getting a little bit crossed up under braking, but we're doing alright so far. But those 2 Countach have caught right up to the back of our 488, guys. We need to be really tidy throughout the last 40% of this race to make sure we do take out first place. That Countach is all over the back of the Pista. We'll try and be as defensive as we can, throw a couple of traffic cars in front of it, hopefully they crash and take each other out, as we do get rear-ended by not 1 but 2 Countach there. Jack Vaughan has passed us, and hopefully we can claim that one back. We get a little bit dirty here once again, and Jack Vaughan, it looks like, crashed into the central reservation. So yeah, the elbows are out here, guys. We are fighting tooth and nail over the last 20% here. We do just we do outbrake ourselves, so we hit the outside wall and we do lose our momentum. We are stuck back here in second place. Jack has stretched ahead of us there. 10% left. If we don't get a couple of turns coming up, I think the writing's on the wall. We're probably not going to take out first place. We might not even get second here, with Joe Munoz all over the back end of us in that purple Countach. We're trying to get defensive, blocking them off from passing us as much as we can. We do cross the line. Unfortunately second place, but I see that's fortunate. A very much imbalanced race there between the Countach and the 488 Pista. Largely I think this is an absolutely fantastic car. Powerful enough, handles fantastically well, and it gets the power down phenomenally. Thoroughly enjoyed driving that one. I've waited quite a while to jump into the Pista. I have obviously saved it for the last race of Season 1. We of course will be unveiled with Season 2 on Wednesday coming, just 2 days from now, guys. I'm thoroughly looking forward to it. I hope you are too. Throughout Season 1, I want to thank you guys that have watched the videos, that have stayed tuned, that have watched all the way to the end, that have liked, commented, subscribed. Granted, we're not a big channel, guys. I want to see this channel grow. I'm going to be here for the foreseeable. I'm going to do as much content on Test Drive Unlimited as I possibly can. I love the game so far. Yes, there are changes that can be made. Yes, there are improvements. Let's give the game time. Let's give the devs time and see what comes to us in the upcoming updates. I do hope you have enjoyed today's video. I do hope you have enjoyed my coverage of Season 1. Tomorrow I'm probably going to do some form of review of Season 1, everything we've kind of accomplished, anything that I didn't really do. We'll cover it all off in tomorrow's video, guys. Be sure to like, subscribe, tap on the bell, select all the notifications, and leave me a comment for today, guys. And stay tuned for more content on Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown.